Hello everyone, it's me, MuddyPuddle. Hello.
This is your stream, isn't it, mate?
Oh yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Steve. I'm a really good Battle Cats player.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
garbage.
I wouldn't know up-to-date wise, mate. I've got to be honest, right? Because MuddyPuddle hasn't released any content recently.
Oh, that's
Now,
a shame.
I really wish MuddyPuddle would release some quality content. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't seem to be doing so.
Oh, that's a shame, mate.
It is a bit of a shame, mate. I've got to be honest. It has broken my heart. Yes, it has broken my heart.
Ah.
See, do you just see that, right? People may have not seen that, but I'm scrolling down and then Battlecats just goes whoop right up to the top again. You know, that happens all the time and that is so annoying. It is flipping annoying attack. Exactly. I like how Taki has arrived and has made no comment about the title. XD. Right. I'm actually playing the beginner account at the same time as this. I'm not entirely sure why. But I am. Because les memes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna mix things up. Right?
Right.
What I'm going to do is... well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not actually going to do it by cheesing it. I'm going to do it no gacha, mate.
Okay, mate.
And I'll be like, how do you like that? Bit of no gacha.
And then I'll be like, oh, I like it quality, mate.
Yeah, you'd be like, I like a bit of that no gacha. And I'm like, well, that's because you have good taste, mate, in the older no gacha. So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing, mate. I've got to be honest.
Okay.
Then that'll allow me to do beginner account at the same time. So, I guess, what more no gacha can we add? We can add this no gacha. Maybe some of that no gacha. A bit of that. And then I reckon maybe like A Bahama as well. Bish bash bosh. Bit of no gacha. So, yeah. Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. Instead of cheesing it, we're going to be doing it no gacha, just to mix things up, because we've done so much ice in the snow that it's time to mix it up and time to do it no gacha and work my way through The Legend Begins 2-star, because that is really where it's at, to be honest. Let's try and do this no gacha. It's going to be a tall order, but I reckon we can do it. Oh, by the way, obviously the thumbnail will change when people are watching this as a video, but stream people, do you like the thumbnail? I've sort of passively aggressively put a picture of me correcting someone who tried to correct me. I did think I was wrong briefly. I was a bit worried because I had checked my facts when editing, but yeah, no, it turns out it's maximum energy total and they're wrong. So, yeah, we're all right, which is good. Oh my days, it's just done that stupid scroll thing on the beginner account as well. I swear, every time it does that, I lose even more of my already gone sanity.
Yeah.
It's horrible. There you go. I think this no gacha strat is revolutionising things. I'm already on Sunset Blues in Legend Begins 2-star, so you can't really argue with that, really. Lovely show. Let's bring out a farmer cat. See, this is revolutionary commentary as well. I'm commentating on what you can't see.
Ooh.
Yeah. Go farmer cat, getting me those resources, killing those doges like mad. To be fair, right, when I was researching the facts for that video to make sure I got things right, I learned that stuff about the waves, I didn't actually know that was how the levels worked and it was equal to an attack. So I mean, I've learned something as well, and that's always good. That's what our media teacher said to us. She said the print media, I had to look all this stuff up so I'd be able to teach it, because she's got a film degree but doesn't do like print stuff. So yeah, she's learnt the stuff just before she started teaching the course.
That sounds like that games teacher who taught some geography classes. I remember he taught me geography for a bit.
Oh! I think I know who you mean, mate. Yeah, he taught us for one lesson and made a sort of really tenuous April Fool's joke that took us the whole lesson to work out. Because he'd written it like half in Latin. It was really weird.
Okay.
Crastino flare pools, that's what it was. Because crass is the Latin for tomorrow, if you guys don't know. MuddyPuddle will know because he did GCSE Latin as well. And I don't know, Crastino, I think it's like in tomorrow or something. And then flare pools is an anagram of April Fools. So that was a sort of weird thing. And we didn't actually really do any geography that whole lesson. That's the thing. It was just this weird April Fool's joke, and that was it.
Sounds like great banter, mate.
It was great banter. Oh, I'm making some good progress, mate. I'm already on melancholy damp, which sounds like my tears, really.
Ah, okay.
Bit witty. I do quite like Farmer Cat in the start of the game. I'm glad people were like, mate, how about you try it in the beginner account? It's quite good there. And they were right. It's good for those battle start-offs. Oh, yeah. Would have preferred Garbage Cat, but there you go.
Yeah.
Octopus Cat really sort of filled the void that Garbage Cat was meant for. And I wasn't to know it would do that, so, you know. What can you do? I guess you could just make a really nondescript cat. And then they decide what it does, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at least it wasn't Dan and Phil Cat. There's that.
Yeah, that's a good point, mate.
I mean, it's good Ponos got them to make a video. Maybe brought some people to the community. Maybe didn't. But I would have thought it would be a bit cheap if they made a Dan and Phil cat.
Yeah, but they were never going to do that, mate. They've never made a Matt Shea cat before.
That is true, mate, because apparently, although Capsule Cat is attributed to Matt Shea, it was just a cat in the JP version that was just like, yeah, they're like, let's put it in the EN. So that is true, mate.
But we need views first.
To be fair, though, mate, they did team up with Picataro like several months after it became a dead meme.
Yeah.
Which I think's quite sad, really. I mean, they had something going there. If they got with Picataro like when it was a big thing, I think they could have really profited off that. But they just made themselves look like dead memes by just doing it several months late. But I mean, I like Picataro. I mean, what a guy. What an example of a cat. Should we say cat army unit?
Okay.
It's like Alan O'Neill. Every time I go to my super rares, Alan O'Neill's at the end. I'm like, mate, you have no place here. I never use you. You're just the one Metal Slug super rare I got. You look really silly, mate. And he's like, I'm the immortal Alan O'Neill. And he's just there, and I never use him. And it seems incredibly pointless. But there you go. Melancholy Damp has been completed. I'm on an absolute roll. You wouldn't even believe. Bouncy Park we're up to already. Flippin' heck. My guy. He's got a frisbee. Let's build up the no gacha. Maybe upgrade the worker cat as well. Then bring out a farm account on the beginner account. Now everything's alright. Conan O'Brien. Don't talk to me about Conan O'Brien. I've seen Lineage Revolution adverts where he just smashes through a wall and is like, hi, I'm Conan O'Brien and this is Lineage 2 Revolution. I'm like, why? Who are you? It's very strange. But
who am I?
What is it do I want? I mean, to be fair, right, advertising-wise, I did quite enjoy the advert, but I didn't understand it. But I guess that's made it stuck in my memory, so I think they've achieved what they wanted, quite annoyingly. But, yeah, I'm Conan O'Brien, and this is Lineage 2 Revolution. I mean, mate, I don't care. It's Lineage 54. Not playing it. Wait, hang on a minute. No, I think that gives the title more character, Tacky. And for your information, I haven't spelt about wrong. I was using the French word for the month August. So who's laughing now? Me, because I dropped French in year 9. Ha ha. Ha. It's to symbolise how painful the experience of you talking about Kahoot has felt, because you've been going on about it so long it feels like it's been since August. Hence, août, the French for August. See, I've just done a media there and just made up some total rubbish about it, but it sounds convincing, doesn't it? I hope it does.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm going to fail media, but there you go. Yeah, that's how analytical subjects work. Just make something up and justify it by making something else up. There's an accent in oot. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I can't really do accents. Every time I want one, I have to search up on the internet how to get it, and I just cannot be bothered. So I do apologise, right? But, I mean, at least I got all the letters right. As an accidental misspelling of about, I think I've done quite well to explain it away, don't you? Right, we're on to Gentle Smile already, making some mad good progress. I would have never wanted to learn the language. Oh, you're being rude about French people. I probably shouldn't have read that comment out. Well, I didn't read all of it out. I mean, I don't want to learn French for a different reason, and that's that the language is disgustingly irregular and makes no sense whatsoever. That's why I picked German for GCSE instead. I mean, it has its moments with its der, die and das and all that, but it's a lot more logical than French. Oh, I did not get along well with French. Or my French teachers, for that matter. Hey, mate, do you remember when one of the students at our school, who shall not be named, followed the French teacher on Instagram?
No, mate, I had no idea that ever happened.
Oh, it was a bit of a witty moment, mate, because he was hauled into an office and told to unfollow her immediately. There's a big hoo-ha about it. And then naturally there were many sort of fan fictions which arose from that. And it was all in good memes. I mean, the poor sod. That person had, of course, the great Macbeth meme happen to him as well. Which I wrote about in my English GCSE itself. So basically he's famous with some examiner somewhere. And that got me my grade 8, so I'm happy with that.
I forgot about that as well, mate.
You forgot about the Macbeth? Oh, mate.
I've forgotten the Macbeth meme. What was the Macbeth meme?
Logan Paul is getting sued. Ah. Maybe you should...
That's the Macbeth meme.
No, I was just reading what someone was saying. Well, maybe you can give that suing money to charity or something, I don't know. Wouldn't want to make a continued and severe lapse in judgment, or whatever the words are. I was just watching a Logan Paul meme by Grande, some quality memes. I'm a year 7 and I can pronounce oot. Congratulations. It's probably because you're learning French. I did French in year 7. My French teacher hated me. I'm not entirely sure why. I think the only thing I can trace it to is the fact I didn't know who Ed Sheeran was. No, I kid you not. I found out about the existence of Ed Sheeran through pictures and the French teacher saying, "Who's this?" And I said, "It's a man with strange hair with his tongue sticking out." And everyone shouted, "No, it's Ed Sheeran." And I said, "Who's Ed Sheeran?" And then I was told. Now I know who Ed Sheeran is. And I like one of his songs. So, yeah, that's how the story goes, really. And, yeah. I can only think that is why she hates me, because I didn't know who Ed Sheeran was. But yeah, that's the story in Balamory, wouldn't you like to know? But yeah, usually I am very adverse to year 7s because they are immature and very up themselves, but I think that's mostly at our old school, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, especially as you're watching a Reddit stream. Thank you for coming along and having better judgment than probably a lot of year 7s. Congratulations to you, and I honour thee through the medium of this stream. Thank you very much for being here. Right. My English teacher. Oh, you learnt English as a foreign language. Oh, poor you. I can only think how painful that must be, because I get confused with our language and I'm a native speaker. Do you as well, mate? It is very weird, isn't it?
Like what, mate?
Well, in English, you know, how you spell things or how you conjugate things, it makes no logical sense at all.
I don't know, it's just the sort of thing you learn when you're younger.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine having to learn English as a foreign language.
Really awful.
I can imagine that being disgusting, and I feel very sorry for anyone who has to do that. I mean, I guess Sack Attack had to do that, but to be fair, I don't feel sorry for Sack Attack because he's Sack Attack. Yeah. Anyway, right. Having some great banter here. I thought never thought we'd get on to talking about how I learnt who Ed Sheeran was, but I guess these sort of things happen in stream. Now you know. Learnt about who he was in that fated French lesson. I'm glad well, actually, mate, you would have still been there. How was the reception to the man's not hot meme in your educational establishment from whence I came and from whence you still are?
Mate, we're not that cringy.
I don't know. The Year 7s had a phase where they walked around, nearly all of them spinning fidget spinners and playing Clash Royale at the same time.
I don't remember that many fidget spinners.
Okay, not all of them, but I saw a big number of fidget spinners, and I fell ill.
Right.
It's horrible. But
mate, you remember the person who tried to bring a fidget spinner into a GCSE exam?
No.
Wait, really? You don't remember that?
What was that? Was that our old school person did that? Huh.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, mate.
Well, he just had it. You know, he's one of the troublemakers, you know.
Mate, the school is full of those people.
Really?
Reg, who's your favourite girl in the Doki Doki Literature Club? You may find my inclination when I upload the next episode. That sounds so cringy. It is Kobe. Our old school is a horrendous place, but I mean, mate's alright in it, so, you know, good for him. But I got out as soon as humanly possible. And now although I prefer where I am now, I still feel lonely and depressed because I am. But I can't blame where I am for that. I can only blame the fact no one likes me. But hey ho, you know. It's a much more accepting place. Still, no one finds me funny. No one ever has, though. Right, okay. Let's reconnect to the internet and get the energy that I have banked up. Oh, we have untext. Watch what you're saying. Apparently, I'm doxing our old school, mate. Even though I haven't, even though I haven't mentioned its name or the names of anyone who went to it. Interesting that, but there you go. If you're wondering why I can't mention it, well, because I don't know. They had this thing where you couldn't say anything rude about them because they were very narcissistic, and I'm still worried they'd sue me for libel if I was rude about them, even though they fully deserve it because it's a horrendous establishment. But anyway, for the moment, I'm keeping stum about its name. Probably until I'm clear of year 12 might be a decent time. Is Mad Dr. Clay any good? I don't have Warlock and Pierre, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Mate, YouTube has managed to sign me out again while I'm streaming. How does it do that? I just hovered over the chat. It says sign in to chat. I'm like, I am literally conducting a stream on my YouTube channel. How have you managed to sign me out, you useless platform? But it's somehow done it. I mean, I commend YouTube on being so horrendously bad. I'll just check the menu, see if there's... I forgot to look at when Merciless XP was. I might actually take the opportunity to do that now. Let's look in events. The only reason I like Octopus is because he's a Reddit meme. Well, I'm not sure he's exclusively. I mean, I made a satirical review, but if you liked it, I'm very glad you did. Because I was quite happy with how it came out in the end. I mean, it's better having a sort of deliberately satirical review than accidentally thinking that a Chaos Moon doesn't outrange a Sloth. There you go. Right. I'm looking at the wrong thing, aren't I? It's gathered through the information screen, not the events, weirdly. I don't know why they can't be bothered to put it... I guess because it's Merciless XP is an event sort of thing. Here it is. Merciless XP schedule. So today, it is the 6th of January 2018. And it's 4 PM to 5 PM, which I have missed. Good. You know, I think I was playing Overwatch then. Or organising my media folder, which is now full of all sorts of terrible things. I just dare not even talk about what's in it because it's terrible. We were learning about narrative theories and we had to make a story that included some narrative theories, and it's like a The Shining fan fiction. It's really weird. Like, not sort of edgy, filthy fan fictions that you lot seem to write. It was just a meme that I made whilst watching The Shining. Well, not just I. There were actually some other people from the media class there, but they don't find it funny anymore, so it's just me on my own, really. But, yeah. It's really quite difficult to explain, but it's terrible. And I have to have it in my folder because that's what was required. It was 8 AM to 9 AM. What?
Maybe another times, maybe. Right, no, that can't be right.
Either, right, Battle Cats is wrong, or the time on this earth is wrong.
The time on this earth.
What is the date today? Wait, never mind. Oh no, wait, it's actually something we haven't thought could be the truth. I think it might be that Kobe's wrong, mate. Because he says, wait, never mind. I was talking about the deadly one. Ah, there you go. So yeah, I missed it in any case, so let's just carry on with... Flipping it, I was going to check when the next one was, and I just closed the menu. Of course I do. I always do that. I should really get good. I wish I had a better work ethic than I do. I really wanted to like get on with my work throughout the holiday, but I'm doing it all in the last 2 days. Mind you, almost done all my politics now, so that's a big thumbs up from me. Mate, what do you know about unitary, uncodified and unentrenched constitutions?
Absolutely nothing, mate.
Well, those words describe our constitution, mate.
Right.
Now, do not ask me what a constitution is, because I cannot think what it is. I think it's
like... What is our constitution, mate?
Sorry?
What is our constitution?
Well, our constitution is uncodified, which means it isn't like written down in one document, but it's found in all sorts of things, which I was just doing a thing about. Let's see if I can remember the five things. So you get it from treaties and EU law, at least currently. Controversial Brexit comment. Anyway. But that's not a matter of opinion. We are Brexiting, so we'll eventually not have EU law unless we adopt it through choice. There's sort of conventions, authoritative texts, statute law, and common law. Oh, I got all of them. That's nice. Hey.
You're good at remembering things, mate.
Sorry?
You're good at remembering things, mate.
I'm glad you think so, mate. Thank you very much. So, yeah, that's how we get stuff in our constitution, which isn't codified. It's just sort of either not written down at all or written down in, like, various documents all over the place. Whereas in America, they have a sort of a document, like the Constitution. You know, like, there's debate over the right to bear arms, that sort of thing, mate.
No, I don't know that.
Oh, right. Well, that's in the Constitution that you have a right to bear arms. So the fact it's codified means it's harder to change, so reform's harder to push, which hopefully means that they won't be able to get the net neutrality thing through. I don't know what happened to that. But anyway, yeah, they also have checks and balances, which should ward against that. All sorts of words. But anyway, going back to what I was saying about the UK Constitution, yeah, it's like rules... a set of rules and principles that govern sort of how power is distributed, how the judiciary works and stuff like that.
Judiciary?
Judges, courts, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think that was what it was.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. I'm going to get my booklet and read out the definition.
Definish.
Definish.
Too
Sack
cool to finish the word.
Yeah, I'm that cool that I do politics A level and revise it in a Battle Cat stream. Mind you, politics A level's great. I do enjoy it. Although I have no interest in becoming a politician because they're derided, hated, and most of the time are shady people, I do find politics...
I do like you, mate.
Thank you. I do find politics interesting. I was forced to read an entire book, write a review or something, do 30 sack attack, maths exercises, study for a test, make a post of some instrument, make a PowerPoint presentation and some more stuff. Well, I feel sorry for you, sack attack. For you. But then again, it is sack attack, so I don't know how sorry I really feel. But anyway, I shouldn't really say that. Right, okay. You ready, mate?
I'm ready, mate.
Constitution is a set of principles which may be written or unwritten, setting out the distribution of power within a political system, relationships between political institutions, the limits of government jurisdiction, the rights of citizens, and the method of amending the Constitution itself. Right. So it sets out a lot of stuff. Basically, what the government works and that. Which is probably why it's in the government and politics A level. Probably a safe bet. Right. Flip off, I'm hacking you. I'm sorry, hack attack. Oh no, he's messaged me as well. Year 7 was painful for all of us. You've got to remember that 13-year-old white boys are a thing all over the world. Sack attack, in Year 7, you are either 11 or 12 years old. 13-year-olds are in Year 8, but anyway. Why am I DMing you? I don't know. Also, English is easy to learn. I'm abridging what Sack Attack actually said because this is a PG family-friendly stream. Well, I'm glad it is for you, Sack. I could never imagine it being easy. I mean, I found English GCSE difficult as a native speaker, but there you go.
Oh, obviously.
But if you found it easy, great. I can't imagine English being easy to learn, though. I mean, what an irregular and terrible language it actually is. Especially having to study flipping Shakespeare. I mean, he added loads of words, but ultimately his existence, the fact we have to study him, I mean, it's not even his fault. I say his existence, but Shakespeare did nothing wrong. He wrote how things are written in his time. The people who've done things wrong is the people who make us study Shakespeare. It's just wrong. I sound like Ed Miliband. That's a political meme, if ever you heard one. Have you seen Ed Miliband and Russell Brand, mate?
No,
where he goes, it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's just not true. It's wrong. Yeah. Classic political meme. But yeah, it is just wrong. It's stupid to make us study Shakespeare. Like, he wrote for stuff in his time, but modern English, Shakespeare to that is a foreign language. I'm sorry. There are two things I campaign on in English, right? The fact that poetry should rhyme, and if it doesn't rhyme, it is a short story with flow. Which isn't worse, I'm not saying it is, but it's definitely different, right? And Shakespeare, Ian, is a foreign language, right? It is not English. I like to call it quite old English, because we had Old English a long time ago. And I call it quite old English, because it's just so different and unintelligible. It's like reading Laura Mulvey, which I could tell you all about. Laura Mulvey is an interesting character. In fact, I could do a stream reading visual pleasure and narrative cinema to you and see how confused we all get, because I got very confused. Why study Shakespeare when you can watch Pyrocynical all day? Exactly. Good point, Sack. I mean, even our media teacher said to us that she finds Laura Mulvey challenging to read herself. And I mean, what hope have we got, frankly? But there you go. Mate, I may have told you in the stream this before. I feel like I might have, but I'm going to say it again if I have already. When we go back, we're doing case studies on industry for radio, games and film. Do you know what we are studying for games, mate?
Yeah, it's Minecraft.
It's Minecraft. No, I love that. There was an audible groan in the class. But I was like, yeah! Building bricks with Minecraft. Great. Unfortunately, though, it really hurt me to hear we're not actually playing any Minecraft.
Aww.
Because we're just looking at the industry, so probably just like Mojang and stuff. And I thought, that's really sad. By the way, just watching an Energy Recovery ad, if you're wondering, the Squeen is Minecraft. But brown bricks in Minecraft. But yeah, studying Minecraft, so that should be an interesting one. I think it's a game about gardens, but it's got like Candy Crush in it as well. So you play Candy Crush to get like flowers, and then you can employ people, including children, it looks like, strangely, and then they build your garden for you, and it's called Gardenscapes. Well, there you go. Been rated highly. I think I'll miss out if that's all right. Right, okay. Energy recovered. Lovely. Let us go to Ye Boy, I See Desire again. Or it could be Ye Girl. I'm going to be sort of not assuming. I don't want to say not assuming gender because that's wrong, because gender is masculine or feminine, and it's actually better to think of gender not as masculine or feminine at all, because it's a social construct. Sex is male and female, and gender is well, a social construct. It's who we identify as. That's another thing in media. So I feel like having male and female in gender is really unhelpful to all sides of the argument. But there you go.
I assume you're just memeing that.
I'm not memeing, mate. Like, seriously, for the worth of it, mate, identifying as an attack helicopter is less controversial than identifying as somewhere between male and female.
Mate, I still don't believe you're serious.
Think about it, mate. Like, there's a debate over whether there are two genders, and that's wrong, because there are two sexes and as many genders as you could possibly think of, because it's who you identify as. And if you can identify as anything, which I guess is the idea, you can identify as a helicopter quite easily. And that is probably less harmful than identifying as a man, woman, or somewhere in between, because then it doesn't have the debate between gender and sex, because people don't distinguish between it very well.
Mate.
Yeah, we've had a whole lesson on this sort of stuff, mate.
Mate.
Yeah.
Gender.
Yeah.
The state of being male or female.
That's wrong. That's sex.
Well,
gender is a social... Well, Google's wrong. Gender is a social construct, mate. There's literally the title of a topic we study. Yeah, look, typically used with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. Because biological is...
I'm just ignoring it.
Biological is sex, mate. Male or female. There's nothing else other than that, because biologically you are male or female. And then gender is what you identify as culturally. Like a helicopter.
Contradicted itself.
Yes, it hasn't been very helpful at the very least. Google is a bit silly. And I think, to understand gender and sex better, it's better not to think of male and female when you think about gender. It's better to think about helicopters, in my opinion. But there you go.
Right, but how many people are helicopters?
To be honest, mate, well, my gender is depressed and lonely.
No, mate, that's how you feel.
I think someone's just actually got the idea of it wrong. But hang, what were you saying, mate?
That's not your gender.
That is my gender. That's who I identify as. Depressed and lonely.
Well, in that case, that's the wrong... You might be who you identify as, mate. That's definitely not your gender.
Mate, it's a social construct. So I can be depressed... I am depressed and lonely. Like, yes. That is the best way to think about it. Like, my sex is male. Sorry for spoiling it for anyone who was still wondering over that old meme, is Reggae actually a girl, when my voice hadn't broken. But my gender is depressed and lonely.
Right.
Because, although I think I'm a man and I doubt that would change, am I a man or a muppet? I thought I could take the opportunity to reference that epic film.
Right.
But although I don't think my perception of being a man will change, I don't want to identify gender-wise as male, because that just throws up all kinds of societal and cultural stink about how I might be a disgusting misogynist for saying that I'm a man. Like, it's better in gender terms to think more abstractly because it is a social construct. Therefore, I am lonely and depressed is what I identify as. And look at that, I've run out of energy. Show your face. No, you'd regret asking.
Yeah, he's not actually a man, so...
Guys, searching up what gender is on Google isn't helping you. That definition is not helpful. This is what creates the debate between people who are like there are two genders and people who are like there are not. There aren't two genders, there are two sexes, and sex and gender are very different, which is what some people don't realise, and that's where the debate arises, and that's where the problem arises.
Right.
Is your gender spoon? I mean, I sort of, yeah, I guess I could culturally identify as a spoon. I think the helicopter, I've just realised that's actually a bad example, because I think the meme is I sexually identify as an Apache attack helicopter or something like that. Which, again, is wrong, because you don't sexually identify. Sex is one or the other. Gender is where you identify. So if I'm trans, what am I? Well, your sex is whichever sex you happen to be closest to. And then your gender, if you like, what you identify as, is not male or female. Then.
I like how you have to say closest.
Well, sex biologically, mate, is either male or female. I mean, I dropped biology after GCSE, but that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're transgender, I mean, transgender, clues in the word, it's got more to do with gender than sex. But if you had to identify sexually, it'd be whichever one you are closest to in terms of hormones, body parts, that sort of thing. I should think. That would be how I'd think it.
Right.
But gender, like, identifies what you want. Helicopter, transgender, cat food, spoon, depressed, happy, a bush. Could be anything, couldn't you? That's the joy of a cultural, societal, social construct. This is why you're depressed and lonely. Yeah, I think too much. There's a saying in politics, is it better to be a dissatisfied Socrates or a satisfied pig? And I always go a satisfied pig, but, you know, there you go. And I think that is a way to end off the stream. Mate, what would you be, a satisfied pig or a dissatisfied Socrates?
Yeah, I guess a satisfied pig.
Yeah, which basically what that's about is, people of the stream, whether you are happy being ill-informed and happy, or whether you value knowledge as very important. Yeah. Epistemology. Is it epistemology? You know, mate, I've confused myself. I'm not going to turn the stream off until I know if I've got that right.
Oh dear.
Heavens above, if I've got that wrong. One of my most basic terms.
Oh no.
Here's where I find out that
Epistemology.
epistemology is where you get words from. No, that's etymology. So I think I'm all right there. No, that's a book on the Liberal Democrats. Not interested in that currently. Here's philosophy. Right. You guys are having fun, aren't you? Even if you're not, don't say it. Right. Epistemology is a branch of philosophy concerned with the study of knowledge. Right, okay, good. I haven't forgotten that then. So yeah, that's a debate about whether philosophers think you should be a dissatisfied Socrates because knowledge is important, but even though I do philosophy, I value being a satisfied pig more. But you know what? Me being lonely, depressed and stupid, one could say I am a dissatisfied pig. And on that note, I end the stream. Thank you for all this complex and interesting discussion on our A-level topics. I'm sure MuddyPuddle's had a great time with it. And goodbye.